Hey guys, and welcome to TC Reviews Film. Last week I reviewed my favourite film of all time, and I was struggling to find something to review this week already, but I eventually settled on Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron herd. When this film came out, it was huge. Everyone was talking about it. However, once it came out of the cinemas, everyone completely forgot about it. And I class it as one of the most highly underrated films of all time. It's right up there with Disney's Enchanted. Spirit is about a young stallion ending up getting caught by people and his journey of trying to escape and to get back home to his herd. Very simple story, but it's jam-packed with drama, emotion, and a little bit of cheeky comedy in there. But the best part? The story is fueled by music and the animation. Yes, there is dialogue, as with anything in film and TV, if you exclude the likes of Mr. Bean. But it's only there when it's necessary, like communication between the military and between the Native Americans. So let's focus on the music side first. Hans Zimmer and Bryan Adams both scored this film, and I have to admit the job they did was absolutely fantastic. Years later, I still listen to it in my car while I'm driving to work, and I always get goosebumps. It takes a heck of a lot of talent to score something that good, but to also tell the story through the music is taking it to a completely new level. It has majesty to it, going from cheeky in the character of Rain, suddenly changing to something very dramatic happening. Timing is key in film soundtracks. Out by a few seconds and it just doesn't work. And that's hard enough in real life films, let alone animation. Hans and Brian probably would have gotten a strict outline of the action and had to exactly match it so the animators could sync it all up. And I bow down to them. I love everything about the soundtrack. One thing I don't like is how it makes me want to speed when I'm driving. The animation, well, who doesn't enjoy watching animated horses gallop? Edward Muybridge was the first to animate a horse through the use of photography, and is incredibly aesthetically pleasing to watch. This was achieved back in the late 1800s, and was the standing point of future animation, and it certainly has a huge impact on it nowadays as well. The opening sequence is one of my favourite openings in film. We soar through the skies while Spirit introduces us to the story about to be told. Then we finally join the herd in an incredible way. We're sort of running with them. And that transition from the horse's mane to the grass, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. The characters themselves, now, horses don't have eyebrows in real life. So to get Spirit's expressions, the animators did need to add some in. But I believe they did this as subtly as they possibly could, without making the horses' faces look weird, like just a little accent to widen the expression palette. Even though sometimes it did look a little bit funny, but most of the time it was done beautifully. Some of the scenes created really tugged at my heartstrings, through the beauty of the scene, through the music, and especially through the storytelling. This one in particular is really gorgeous, and must have been hell to draw. Moving snow to eventually turn into horses, then a breeze to blow into Spirit's face. I know as an artist myself, I would hate to draw something like that. For this film to work, it needed everyone to work together. The animators had a mix of traditional drawing techniques and using CGI when there were more horses in the scene. One issue I had was I could very, very, very clearly see when they reused a few of the cell sequences. It's like when Disney reused some of their own work. I only have an issue because it just really niggles on my mind. I completely understand why they did it, and that's because of the money. And I guess it's saving time as well. Disney did it, and I know Dreamworks do exactly the same. It's so much cheaper to recycle than to draw an entirely new sequence. And also horses are a nightmare to draw. However, I think that this film has animated them beautifully. They've risen to the challenge that is horse anatomy. They've given them the expression through their faces that, as a horse owner myself, only the owners can see their emotions in real life. And that goes for all animals. Dogs, cats, guinea pigs, rabbits, anything. You name it, if you own a pet, you will know their individual expressions. They've also given the horses a sense of beauty in their movement. Whether they're galloping, being cheeky, swimming, or being downright nasty. The animators have done a brilliant job in keeping the anatomy correct, but giving the animal characters well, a character to them. Rain's design is lovely, but her muzzle irritates the life out of us. That small line that shows the link between her muzzle and her head disappears, then reappears in other parts. Oh, it annoys me because when the line isn't there, she looks gorgeous. But when it is there, it looks odd. I mean, couldn't the animators have just decided to use the line or not use the line, rather than constantly tossing between the two? Rain is a paint horse, so her muzzle is all white, whereas Spirit is a Mustang. His colours on his muzzle naturally break it up. If a muzzle is all white, then I don't think you really need a line to break it up. Anyway, I'm just being picky again. Moving off animation, the fact that this film, set in the North American plains of the Old West, it finally portrays us explorers, the colonel and such, as the bad guys. Because let's face it, we kinda are. We invaded someone else's homelands and called it our own, then killed many native people, and I have no doubt that when we caught horses that couldn't be tamed, we would just shoot them. Harsh reality, and it still happens today. But the casting matches the characters. Little Creek was played by Daniel Studi, a man of Native American descent. It seems animation by Dreamworks always try to be as true to the roots of the story as they possibly can. Prince of Egypt was another one, for example. Now, I can't say that the Lakota were animated as close to the real-life tribe, as I don't know that much about Native American history. I really wish I did, I truly do, but I sadly don't. But do any of you guys know? So we get that the characters are as true as they can be. As for the story, there are bits I don't like, because they're not necessarily quite true. One being the scene where Spirit fights off the large cat. He goes in to stomp, basically killing the cat, but decides otherwise. A normal horse, terrified, I firmly believe would have just done it. But this is a film and just a story, so it's character building in the plot. So let's just let that one slide. Another is when Spirit flings the colonel off his back and lands on the wooden fence. I think genuinely that could have broken Spirit's back and killed him, or at least very seriously injured him, leading him to be shot. So, but again, this is just a story, so meh. I'm just nitpicking here. The main story arc around the horses is actually quite true in my eyes. Spirit is born and he's immediately on his feet. And yes, foals do that. Maybe not as fast, but they do get standing and are ready to run from predators after just a few hours. The colonel shooting Spirit because he can't be tamed, again, like I have said, it is very true and it still happens in today's society. Whether it be a racehorse or someone's pet, it is the sad truth. For the herd itself, yes, I think the mare would have led them. Spirit taking over isn't that true, I don't think, but it was originally when his mother was leading them. So there are bits of truth to it, but a nice twist of fantasy as well. But whenever you watch a film, you always have to remember that this is just a story. Not all of it has to be completely the truth, but it is nice when some of the facts are within it. So I would give this film a 5-star. Reason being, everything goes almost perfectly together. The entire film was made completely in sync. If you love animated films or appreciate a story being told more through music and what you see on the screen, I would recommend this to you. But tell me what you guys think of this film. Comment below. I also have to say, all of the things I've said were completely my own opinion. So, there we go. I've been TC, I'll see you all next week, and that's a wrap.